This is Jonathan Agger, 5th Pro Boxing Fans, joined by George Groves. We're here at the Azim Lipinets press conference. George, how's your New Year and Christmas?
Yeah, great, thank you. Great. I've been in the gym. So my fighter, Lucas Roehrig, who's 1-0 as a pro now, he got his debut done the middle of December. He's flying, so he's now on this card, February 1st. So we're here today to sort of obviously announce that, but and give him a bit of a taster of what it's like to be in the huddle, for a press conference. So now all good, really good.
So George Groves, trainer or manager or both?
Both. So like everyone now in this sport, you can only train if you can manage as well. And so we've been working together for a long time now, really. We've been working together since best part of 10 months. He's an amateur, obviously was from my amateur club, Dale Youth ABC, so we used to go down there on a Sunday morning to see him working out, and then when it became time for him ready to turn professional, we've hooked up, and he's brought me back to the gym full time now, so we're in the gym almost every day, 5 days a week, punching hard, and he's a future star. I don't I don't say that lightly. I always try and tell the truth. No bias, no agenda. But he's already holding his own with some great fighters. He was booked to go out and spar Gervonta last month while we was out there for the Usyk Fury fight. So he came out there. He got some rounds with arguably the number one cruiserweight in the division, and more than held his own. So bright future for this guy. Jump on the journey now, and you can tell everyone you saw him from the very start.
And I guess since you retired, you've been doing punditry. You've got your podcast. I guess it would have taken someone special or someone you believed in for you to give that time and effort in every day, right?
No, absolutely. It's a full-time commitment. I stopped boxing because I wanted a break from the gym. I retired at 30 and dipped my toe back in boxing. I've stayed in boxing. I try and work as many shows as I possibly can in terms of being a TV pundit or commentator. And I feel like I know a little bit more about the sport now. And coaching, you see it from other people's perspective. You have to process it in real time and drag the best out of them. And so this is a new venture, as in it's a full-time job. But I managed myself to a certain degree throughout my pro career, and I was fortunate enough to experience lots of different things, work with lots of different people, and the whole time tried to be aware and tried to take note and improve and make the right decisions. You don't always make the right decisions, but it's far easier doing it for someone else than doing it for yourself, because as emotionally invested as you are, there's always that layer between you where you can say, actually, mate, this is not quite the right move for you, or actually, this is a fantastic move. And he shares a lot of the traits that I like and thought I had in myself at the early stages of my career. He's ambitious, he's game, he's hungry, he's resilient, and he's fun. So we're going to take on the world, and we're going to conquer it.
Is it giving you the itch at all to get back sparring or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, he's breaking up my shoulders on the pads, and I think, wow, can you imagine if this was hit me in the chin? A couple of times my life has flashed before my eyes. It is I had to slip a couple of shots that have gone astray, but no, not really, to be honest. Each fighter has their time. As a human being, you have to know that. And I think those guys who have a year or two or even longer out of the ring and think about coming back, it's always going to be at a significantly lower level. It's a young man's sport. Let the young man go out there and do it. So I'm getting my boxing fix through working with Lucas Roehrig.
And just, you mentioned obviously you retired at 30. We've seen sort of Tank Davis come out and say, look, in a year I'm done with this. Do you first of all believe him? And if he is going through that thought process, did you have that thought process as well? And is that a dangerous place to be in as a fighter?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I felt like I had an exit strategy from boxing, but it took me 4 attempts to win a world title. If I'd won that world title the first time in that first fight against Carl Froch, maybe things would be very different. But by the time I win it at the 4th attempt, I'd had instances where I'd severely hurt someone. I'd fell out of love with boxing to a certain degree, and I signed into a tournament. There was 3 fights in 12 months for great money, and more titles potentially, and sort of that would have been my legacy there and then. So I had that exit strategy, and I think it's a sensible thing for a lot of fighters to have. You see fighters time and time again who don't have no exit strategy, and when they finish boxing, they have a crisis of identity. They don't know who they are. They don't, they can't function in the normal world, and then they either go into depression and fall off the rails, or they stay in boxing, linger in boxing, and it's not good for them. And then there might be loss after loss, and who knows what sort of fighters you class. It's only with hindsight they made the right decision or not. And you look at Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they're still fighting at the highest level. One of the best fighters, if not the best fighter of the heavyweight era, is Oleksandr Usyk. Tyson Fury pushed him all the way, but now you're also thinking 2 hard fights, 2 back-to-back defeats. Is it a time now for him to maybe think, do I want some more? He's going to fight Joshua. Sure, of course he is. And if he beats Joshua, then he finishes on a high. But after that, does he finish? But if he loses to Joshua, that's 3 back-to-back defeats, and then there is eating into his legacy and his life after boxing. So it's really hard. It's really hard. You can be operating at the very top, but still your time has come. My second to last fight was against Chris Eubank Jr., and at the time people were saying that's best performance, and I felt as fit as ever, strong as ever, and now had the experience to put that into my performances. The fight later, people go, he's been beat, he needs to retire, he's washed up, he's finished, body's failing him. Part of that might be true, but also it might be the best version of me. I just need a bit more time to recover mentally than not. But Gervonta Davis, I don't know enough about him to know whether it's the right time for him to call it a day or not, but he's been a great ambassador of the sport. He's had a fantastic career. If he decided to retire tomorrow, then you wouldn't say you made the wrong decision. I think he's grown his hair really long as well, hasn't he? What does that mean? Is that like is that panic stations? Like, is he into something else? Is he? I don't know. It's hard. I think the longer your hair is, the harder it is to stay tough. I got tougher when I shaved my head, and now I grow my hair long again. I'm weak, I'm soft. If I grew it even longer, I'd be even weaker. So. No.
Fair enough. Just a few quick ones. I know the press is about to start. Fury Joshua, like you said, we probably think that might be next. Give me your quick thoughts on it. Who would you favour if that's next?
I don't know. I don't want to lean into who I think would win. I do think it's a good idea. I think both guys have got enough in the tank to give a good account of themselves, and they're playing for all the marbles. I think whoever wins can say, I was the best Brit of this heavyweight era. And whoever loses will suffer, like all boxers do when they lose. But I like the fight. I think it's a good fight. I'm up for the fight.
Dubois Parker, what do you think of that fight?
That's a hard fight. I think they're both on great form. I wouldn't want to back against Daniel Dubois. I think he's in great form, but he's got to keep going out there and performing. And his biggest win to date, and it will probably be the biggest win of his career, was against Anthony Joshua. So sometimes that transitions to a new level, sometimes it can play against you, so who knows.
Last one, George. On your podcast, George Groves Boxing Club, everyone check that out. I'll put a link in the description for it. You said you feel Moses Itauma gives Usyk his toughest fight. Explain why.
Yeah, I mean, I shot from the hip there, but I think Moses Itauma is an exceptional talent, really exceptional talent. It's way too early for him. You wouldn't put him in with Usyk next, and there could be guys out there like a Martin Bakole who beats Usyk. He's not better than Usyk, but he might beat Usyk. And there's other guys who are in form, maybe Dubois, maybe Parker, but I think the future is definitely Moses Itauma. If he continues to fight the way he does at 19 years of age, it's just startling. He shouldn't be able to handle guys this good. He's that mature, and if he continues to improve, he's got everything. He's just had to stay grounded, stay hungry, stay dedicated, and he could be the next heavyweight, number one ruler division. I can't see anyone beating him in the future.
George, appreciate your time. Good luck on February 1st.
Thank you very much.